in a lot of ways, you've got Tim Pool, who's got Tim Pool News. You've got Ben Shapiro, who's got the Daily Wire. You've got Tucker Carlson, who's got the Daily Caller. They all have these kind of like, quasi disreputable secondary news sources that they themselves curate that they then get to use as a source. So it can be like, well, this actually happened. Check it out. It's on Tim Pool News. Well, thanks, Tim Pool. But I mean, I don't know if this is an unbiased source, considering you are Tim Pool. YouTube channel from the early kind of, I guess, atheist cycle. The Skeptics is what they call themselves, but the Skeptic cycle of the internet, where basically like a lot of white dudes started getting very big followings by trying to pretend they were the smartest people in the room by saying that, in fact, not everything in the Bible is literal. Which, wow, what a revelation. And it did really well because people were kind of excited to listen to a whole bunch of people being like, Christianity is a lie. There wasn't two of every animal. That's not scientifically sound or possible. We're all not the byproduct of incest. That wouldn't make sense. And there wasn't originally just two humans that gave birth to every single human subsequently. That's kind of gross. And yeah, I mean, literally and factually and scientifically, that much is true. But a lot of them also turned out to be pretty hardcore racists who were kind of just using the whole like I'm a skeptic to shield themselves from the more obvious I'm a racist sides of their channels. Sticks and Hammer was one of the people who was really big into the kind of like, I'm gonna go real far right with a lot of this shit, and yeah, was uploading videos in his early days where he was just straight up doing Holocaust denial, talking about how we don't truly know what the number of people who were killed in the gas chambers was. Were they killed by intentional murder, or was it because people were dying from Zyklon B, some defoliant? That clip obviously resurfaced when he suddenly was being retweeted by the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Then more people were looking into what he does. If you want to block by him, because he's blocked me for years now, but if you want him to block you on social media, just upload any of the old videos of him doing Holocaust denial, and he'll block you pretty damn fast because he doesn't like to address his old takes. But he's now appearing on the Quarterings channel. They're doing streams together, and right after they did a stream together, this story broke. Who is Six Hammer666? Real name and all about the YouTuber amid recent arrest reports. Well-known YouTuber Six Hammer666, also known as Terry Warwick, was recently arrested on charges of domestic abuse and battery. Detailed information on the circumstances leading to the legal issue have yet to be revealed by the authorities. Notably, an arrest report by the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office has been going viral on different platforms. The photo did not feature a mugshot of Six Hammer666 and simply stated that he was taken into custody on September 30th, 2024. The report additionally mentioned that Warwick was taken to the court on Tuesday, October 1st. However, further updates are currently awaited on whether or not he has been released, including where he's being held right now. Well, authorities and Warwick's representatives are yet to share an official response for his arrest. A few reports have also claimed that the incident involved alcohol. On the other hand, social media platforms were flooded with various posts where people demanded the release of Warwick. A few people shared their opinion on what might have led to the arrest, claiming that it had something to do with a woman whose identity remains unknown for now. Warwick has been a popular YouTuber for years, which mostly features reactions to different topics related to politics, religion, and more. His career dates back to 2008, etc., etc. And then I think the Quartering was amongst the weirdos who were obviously rushing to defend this kind of stuff, because he did have him on fairly recently. I'll see if I can find any of those old posts. All right, I've got to dig back for the Quartering's official release. That was one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up. But this got released 9 days ago, and it says, "Today sucks. Just had to lay off my entire team. Please hear me out into the end." Before you get too sad or too excited about the Quartering going broke, just know that he does a yearly cycle where he kind of grifts his audience for subs and money and stuff like that by talking about how he's either been completely decensored and silenced on YouTube, he's been demonetized across YouTube, he's been blocked on, Patreon, he's been, ghost blocked on a bunch of other platforms, so he needs your money. And you gotta dig deep and help support him. This one's a little different because he did start basically his own media operation with Sydney Watson, where the two of them were going to kind of make, like, in a lot of ways, you've got Tim Pool, who's got Tim Pool News. You've got Ben Shapiro, who's got the Daily Wire. You've got Tucker Carlson, who's got the Daily Caller. They all have these kind of, like, you know, quasi disreputable secondary news sources that they themselves curate, that they then get to use as a source. So it could be like, well, this actually happened, check it out, it's on Tim Pool News. Well, thanks, Tim Pool, but I mean, I don't know if this is an unbiased source, considering you are Tim Pool, so maybe that's going to be a problem here.
A little bit of an announcement. Many of you know that I've worked on a site with a great group of people called The Publica for a very long time. So as many of you know, myself and my good friend Sydney Watson launched a media company back in February 2022, known as The Publica. While the launch was rocky, the ragtag team of writers that formed under the brand found their bearings pretty quickly and have been smashing it ever since. And they really have been. The writers have been absolutely doing amazing work on the ground at Tommy Robinson rallies, at riots, filming in dangerous areas of Portland, and filming Antifa and breaking stories left and right. And the team has been absolutely amazing. The Public has put out many insanely viral headlines that made international news and worldwide trending multiple times in just the past few months alone. Really punching above its weight for its size and level of funding. Almost everybody, on a personal note, who worked for that site did it for almost peanuts. Everybody that worked for that site either did it for well below market rate or would provide above and beyond where it is. The team, I don't want to, some people use pseudonyms, so I don't want to dox anybody, but
sorry, just to do a little journalism right here. So this is the tweets related to Sticks and Hammer. We know the rate at which men get arrested in mutual domestic disturbances, and how often stories are fabricated by women in some cases to get the man arrested, and also police bias. Domestic violence is real, and it goes both ways. It's often complicated, and best to wait for facts. You're not waiting for facts. Without knowing anything about this, you're just jumping right out of the gates and saying this. I'm not saying there's real trash out there, real garbage wife beaters, but I've also seen good men catch domestic battery charges for, like, slamming a refrigerator door or punching a wall. There's a million ways you can get that charge, and cops almost always blame the man. I was told 3 hours ago, quote, he will get out today, but then I heard nothing more, and now they are closed, of course. They took my money instantly, though. Your money for what? But who is they? There's so many questions, not a lot of answers.
You've seen them online, you've seen the work they do, and it was incredible work. The team, probably 10 people. And I'm so incredibly proud of literally every single person at that outlet.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that meant he posted bail or tried to post bail, but that also doesn't make sense. How could he post bail, but then they also rejected the bail? Also, why? Again, that would be all assumptions. There's no evidence to anything there.
A special shout out to Anna Slatz, who always went above and beyond. You may know her from her work at Redux. She worked for almost nothing.
Anna Slatz. Is that who this article is about? Anna Slatz. Anna Slatz is a Canadian journalist, a gender-critical activist. She's the co-founder and editor of the general-critical website Redux, and was previously affiliated with far-right website Rebel News. Slatz serves as the editor of a student newspaper, The Baron, until she was fired following the publication of an opinion piece by an interview with the leader of a neo-Nazi group, which led to a wave of resignations. So that's who Anna Slatz is.
And I've just been spread too thin, and I need more time and space for personal projects, and more specifically, delivering better with the quartering.com. A lot of people, you may have seen, I've been pushing the membership area of the quartering.com. I've tried a lot of things over the years, whether it was exclusively games or the Publica, and I don't want to call them failures because they came into existence and had great memories associated with them, but I failed them. I failed the Publica by not having enough time and assets to continue to fund it,
So, according to him, 10 people now are unemployed. They all lost their jobs. The Quartering, who boasts about how financially successful he is all the time, specifically with this coffee company, he's always like, oh, our numbers are through the roof. We're making so much money and I've got an insane amount of cash. Definitely, behaving like a proud capitalist here. Yeah, we had to cut corners somewhere. And I'm too great. I didn't know that would be the kind of justification for all of this, but I am too mighty, too wonderful, too majestic, if you will, to be able to do this many things at once and truly give you all what you deserve, which is just all of me. So I want to concentrate on my pet projects, and this was not a failure, per se. We'll say more of like an experiment that went in a direction. Why don't we say that? And at the same time, to the people who all lost their jobs in the process, yeah, it sucks to suck. That's too bad. But hopefully you all land on your feet somewhere.
Through to get break even, and to be totally honest, the debt that I carried for that company became immense, and it has nothing to do with the work that the staff did. So as I step away, I have nothing but positive things to say about everybody that worked there. They have my loudest possible recommendation in their next jobs.
Not jobs, though. They lost that. Those jobs are gone. Yeah, and any kind of financial security you had to be able to feed yourselves, pay rent, feed your families, maybe even get medical insurance through this process, that's all gone now. Because he's got to think about himself and the grandeur of the Quartering experience, really. He was getting spread too thin,
As they go out on, many of them forage out on their own. My Twitter is their Twitter.
You actually use the term forage? Do you know what that word means? Are you hoping? They'll be fine, all right? They will find sustenance. They know which mushrooms are edible, which ones are poisonous. They know which nuts to collect from trees. They're not going to have any trouble eating, all right? I'm not taking literal food from their tables as I've taught them how to forage. So they'll go out into the wilderness and definitely they'll make the best of their experience.
Happy to come on my show. I'm happy to have them on my show to promote their stuff. But it became too much to bear for me, and was leading to a lot of anxiety every day. And, things just aren't the same as they were 2 years ago in the ad space. YouTube is paying about half of what it was when we started. And it became a time thing. I do still believe in my heart that if I had had the time with the Publica, I could have grown its membership at least till it was breaking even. And that's all I ever wanted. I didn't care if that site ever made money. I cared that they put out a great product, and they always did that. And I'm incredibly proud of the team for the work that they did that. I don't look back at the many, many tens of thousands of dollars invested in that as wasted, because they truly made a difference. The beat that they were on was unique and interesting. And, while I'm taking it back, and the public will soon kind of close down, I've been told that there's a project that those that worked at the Publica are working on that will fill the void after it leaves. A refreshingly unique brand on the horizon, and I give them all of the praise. And when they launch, I will happily promote them, because
it kind of sounds like disgruntled employees who you all just fired kind of banded together to try and create a new business. that's the narrative we're getting here.
People that worked at the Publica were incredible, and make sure you keep following at the Publica now on Twitter. I've given that to the team. I've handed that over to them so they can use it for whatever project that they want. I have also paid severances to everybody that works there, including people that only maybe wrote a few articles a month for us, to make sure that they're okay for the next, couple of months.
Damn, that's actually kind of generous. Can anyone who works for the company who wants to have a platform and a voice reach out to me and then let me know? Have you been given severance after only writing one article or two articles tops? Freelancers even? Were they just given generous month-long or 2-month or 3-month severances? I don't think it's true, but I mean, it could be. I'd love to hear about the incredible generous nature of Jeremy when he makes his own media empire collapse.
Severances have all been paid this morning, and I gave the Twitter handle to the team so that they can use it and it can carry on. In the interim, of course, I want to extend a special thank you to Sydney. She's at Sydney Watson, and Anna Slatz, who's at Slatzism on X. I can't wait to see what they've got going on. It was absolutely heartbreaking this morning, but the market is just not, I don't know. Republica.com.
It's the market. Yeah, it's all of you, actually. Why weren't you watching and subscribing and sharing and giving up the monies?
Was one of my proudest projects, but right now my focus has to be exclusively on thequartering.com. That's all that I can only have.
Again, this is him talking about a project that apparently one of its chief editors and I assume people in charge of the entire operation turned out to have been working with neo-Nazis in the past. That's, yeah, that tracks. Makes sense.
Time for one project. I wasn't delivering enough on the Publica, especially for the people that backed there. And I wasn't delivering enough for people on the quartering. And I had to make an extremely difficult decision. And that's why, many of you saw I was, doing the quartering now. And I actually have time for that. I've been putting out members only videos there. I have them. I'm in the members Discord chat there. And so that's what my focus has to be.
Yeah, I guess trying to avoid a Grum situation before it manifests. Also, by the way, hey, this is a great lesson for anybody who is watching. If you work for the quartering, y'all should unionize. Talk about unionization. Talk about banding together. I mean, there could be teams of people, writers, editors, graphic design, everyone from, the writer's room all the way to the editing staff. Y'all could band together, unionize against this dictator who seems to want to just crush all of your livelihoods, take away your jobs at his own whim whenever he wants, right? He's the boss. He gets to decide. And if he decides, hey, by the way, I don't want to keep doing this ProPublica thing because it's just not earning the amount of money I wanted it to versus the amount of time I'm putting into it, 10 people just lose their jobs just like that because the market. It was the market. I got to blame the market for all this.
Sometimes in business, that's just, I only have so much time. And I know I've been talking to you guys a lot about, people notice I was breathing weird on videos and stuff. I've been having insane anxiety over the past 3 months over this because it was very expensive. And
okay, well that explains everything. I don't know. I mean, you literally just give queer kids anxiety for a living. That's your job. You're 9 to 5. When you wake up in the morning until you go to sleep at night, that's basically what you do for a living. Is you produce videos and you say they're about pop culture, but they're usually targeting LGBTQ plus kids and making their lives scarier and giving them anxiety and making them feel like the voice of bullies is a lot louder than it actually is in the world.
And I didn't have the time to promote paid memberships there that would have helped. Sponsors really aren't out there for a news site that dunks on trans weirdos and Indian people and stuff like that. There just wasn't anything out there. So I guess I didn't get any mysterious billionaire donors either, but I'm proud of the work they did. And
whoa, was that a dig at Lawrence Southern? Quartering's r/the quartering is a Nazi that he grew up with the quartering and wanted everyone to know a little bit of the background of his life. I debated for a while about posting this, but I guess that's what a throwaway account is for. I'll start off by saying that I have only rudimentary understanding of his infamy. A number of us who knew Jeremy have played armchair psychiatrist. We are perplexed and dismayed at the way he somehow turned on his online hobbies into a vehicle for peddling neo-fascism. The thing I want to stress here is that for quite a while, he was a solid dude. I saw him go from being kind of shitty little kid, 2nd and 3rd grade, to a very intelligent, well-spoken guy in high school. He was popular in the way that he fit into just about any crowd. Techie, nerds, jocks, arty kids, preppy kids, anybody. He was in a band. The scene of our hometown in the early aughts was a scrubby group of crusty punk tryhards. He was more in that scene's big brother. He gelled his hair and wore khaki shorts and button-down shirts. But the punks respected him because he was down to earth and could afford decent gear, a cell phone, and a reliable car. This was at the time where I got to know him the best. He was a good hang. I remember at some point he kind of disappeared. I suspect there was some sort of relationship drama or something, but he went AWOL for his band and job and nobody could get in touch with him. After reappearing, I didn't see him too much, but I followed him on social media for quite a while. He was promoting a YouTube channel where he would unbox and review RC cars and drones. Good for him, I thought. Around 2015, things started getting weird. He would still push his YouTube channel, but equally as much would be his anti-Hillary propaganda. Eventually, the conspiracy shit became his main focus. But here's what I remember the most from his period. Amid all the InfoWars and Breitbart crap, he kept making all these sincere and tearful posts about caring for the elderly cat. There were signs that signs of someone who was mentally and emotionally broken. I purged a lot from social media in the early Trump years, and he was one of them. Years later, I see his face on a "you made it political" meme, and that led me here. I don't know what happened. I suspect that with a lot of right-wing grifters, he found notoriety in playing to the new audience and eventually became the character he was playing. I remember back in the day, he was pretty anti-George W. Bush, War on Terror. His friend circle, as I knew them, he was always very left-leaning. He used to be be kind of a kind person who would beat on the kind of person that he ended up becoming. It sucks. Let him be a cautionary tale for anyone who lives perpetually online and doesn't take responsibility for his own problems. Yeah, and also just letting the algorithm dictate your own personal beliefs is a very dangerous way to go, because you've all seen where that ends up, you know?
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/The Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincell, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.